The markets are about to open up here, and I'm in this trade on the demo account because it's hourly closed bullish. It's 8 o'clock closed bullish, and that's a bullish closure. So that means the 9 o'clock should give us a push up. But the reason I'm not taking it on my actual account is because we got this bit of resistance right here. All this is choppiness last night, so the market loves to push up into the chop that I created in London, New York, London and Asian session, and then actually come back out of the chop. So I'm taking it on the demo account just to test, is my theory that we're going to come down stronger than the hourly close in the bullish. So I actually want this trade to lose. I don't want it to win. I want this trade to lose. But I can't take sales just yet. Well, actually, I'm about to be able to take sales in a second. But this hourly closed bullish, so we can't take sales on the hourly. But this 30-minute is closing bullish. I mean, bearish right at this support resistance right here. So if we can get a nice top wick in 2 minutes here for this 9 o'clock candle, 9:30 candle open, we have stops above the highs, and we'll look at the target down here in the lows. Now I'm thinking that, see, we had this triangle forming right here. We had this little downtrend, then we had an uptrend created, and the market had bounced inside this triangle last night, well, this morning. It finally broke through, but I'm feeling like it broke through this top trend line because, I mean, it had to, or no, well, not really had to, but it wants to, because it wants to come up and grab some liquidity up here in this zone. So I think this break of the top trend line, which is a very bullish thing, I feel is actually a bearish sign, and we're actually going to come down and break the bottom one. And when we break the bottom one, I feel like we're really going to drop like we did something yesterday. So in about 43 seconds here, this 30 minutes is about to close nicely bearish, and I'm gonna take some sales. I mean, the 30 minute is nicely bearish, but the 5 minute looking kind of ugly, so I can't really put any sell stops in case the thing just flushes, but I really hope it does not flush. What is it, 34? I'm gonna put it in just in case we flush. I'm gonna start making it a habit just to put in sell stops. It should give us a top wick before. Oh, see, it just, well, we're already in the trade. It did end up just flushing. We're in the trade now. My stops are above the highs. Since this thing did not create a top wick, we might be in drawdown for a minute. It might actually, so hopefully this thing can just push down hard. Once it pushes down more, I'm actually gonna be a little aggressive with stops, and I'm probably gonna move it to break even sooner than later since we don't got a top wick. But if we break through this, if this turns out to be a quick stop, then that's just that. But while this trade's playing out, I already took in one trade today at 5 o'clock. We had a nice, well, we didn't have a nice 4 o'clock closure, because 4 o'clock actually closed bullish at 4, but then 5 o'clock when I woke up, I seen that we already got the nice push up on the 15 minute, and then it closed bearish. So I ended up, did I get in short on the, yeah, I got it on short on the 30 right here, and then I added to the position at 6, and then I closed out down here. It was a nice little winner to start the day off. 70-point winner, about 80-point winner, 60. And then on the demo account, I took some trades, and they ended up working out. Also, I took a demo trade on this account right here. I'm not really going to explain that one since it was a demo. But we're getting this push down we want to see. We love to see it. So I'm going to end up moving my stops to break even here shortly. After we got this nice push down, it really shouldn't come back up here and break these highs. It really should not come back up here and reflip on this candle. So this is now a risk-free trade. We're gonna let this thing run. Hopefully it breaks through this trend, because this is the first bit of resistance we got to deal with. This trend line right here. This trend line right here has held countless times today already. We gotta break through this, because this thing could just be coming down, broke through, and retesting it to really run. So we need this thing to come down and actually break through this thing. But stops are at break even. It is what it is. We are moving so big, I might end up actually just taking profits. Really, this is already a 50-point mover, and we already took in a nice 60-point dub, so we can take profits very soon. But I really want to try to hold this thing. It's only been a couple minutes. Yeah, forget all that. We're closing. We're taking profits. We're a scalper. Scalper at nature. Two things has shown us why we should take profits here. It probably can drop, probably will, but the smart decision is this trend line has showed us we bounced 1, 2, 3 times, and now we're here again. Who are we to think the market is going to just break through finally when we're in the trade? So this thing has a very good chance of bouncing, and we was in some nice profits already. And what? That was only a 5-minute trade. Today's turned out to be a good day so far. If this thing wants to keep on dropping, once this thing closes underneath the trend line, then we'll re-enter the position. But right now, it's bearish. We love to see it. W trade, but until it actually closes underneath this line, we're actually still bullish. Like, we could still bounce back up. So, but once we close underneath, then I'll probably take some sales again. I started thinking about the money. Yeah. we would have held the trade, I would now, if we would have stayed in the trade after moving what stops to break even, as stops above here, moving stop to break even once we got this push down into the zone, and then once we got this 5-minute push to break this 5-minute low, I would then now move stops to about down here above the current candle highs. This 5-minute, if it flips, that's not good for the trade. But if this 5-minute stays down, then that's great. If it closes below, that'd be what we wanted to see. Then the next thing that trade would have to do is get through this support. But that's if I would have held that trade rather than closing out. I would have now moved stops to in profits. You might even can actually reverse your position. If this 5-minute does close bullish here, you might can get in some buys actually. Because what happens when the 5-minute closes bullish on this trend? When we get to nice push up. This, like I said, could have just been a pullback to bounce off of this trend line. So if this 5-minute closes bullish, that's could be a buy sign. I don't like trading off the 5-minute though, so I wouldn't really be taking it. But if it did or does close bullish, then that's some buying opportunity right there. I would rather wait for the 15-minute to close above and then potentially take the next 15-minute back up. But right now we're in a very bearish market, so you can't really take buys because every pullback is really just getting sold off. Every push up is really just getting sold off. You get a push up here, you sell off, come back down, push up, hold, go down, 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 push up, down. It might bite us in the butt that we didn't hold this for the 30-minute time frame. We sold it on the 30-minute, so we should have at least held it for the 30. And we still got 22 minutes left in this minute, so it was a great trade. We closed out profits, but that's a downfall. That's one rule we broke already. We didn't hold the trade. 100 points.
Go Bears! Go Wolves!
It's Soup, I love you. The mattress cover has changed my life, and here is why. I adjust.
5-minute close below. This is good. If you was a 5-minute trader, that's good. You can enter off this one. But like I said, I don't trade off the 5-minute. And the second reason I'm not entering, first of all, I was in up here, so I'm not going to enter down here. But thirdly, I'm not entering because we have a bit of resistance right here. So like, if you got in short, you would, first of all, your stops would have to either be above these highs, which it looks like it's currently about to try to break, so you would be hitting stops in a second, or you just have it all the way up here, and that's 100 points, and that's ridiculous. But if the trade would have worked out, or started pushing down, since we're in a big range right now, this is a 40-point move, and that's a big move for this tiny tiny piece of the pie. That's a big move. But if we were to have held that first trade, we would have then closed out that trade anyway. So the outcome was the same. Outcome of the trade was the same. We ended up closing out right at the trend line, but in reality I would have had moved my stop loss to above the highs, and now the market would have broke the highs, so we would have been triggered into them. It would have had closed out the position at 50 points, 45. So even though we didn't really follow the 30-minute rule, the outcome would have been the same, unless we would have closed out down here at this support. The 15 minutes about to close right at the trend line, which is crazy. This 15-minute can drop since it is a bearish 15, but it did close right at the trend line, and it's is more near the bottom of the range than it is the top of the range. So it's actually a little bit more it looks bearish, but it feels more bullish. So if we want to get back in some sales, we need the 15-minute to put in some work and get this 30 minutes to drop, so this hourly and either this hourly needs to close back up top here, and we can get in sales again up here, or we need this hourly to close below, so we can get in sales down here. And to the left here, we got this is really clean range. I remember this day, but I forgot what happened. News came out about 10:30 or something. But this day was just a straight buying day. Zero pullbacks, just straight buying. So all of this is clean traffic, clean traffic, and we are right dab in the middle of it. So until we get to the bottom of this range right here, we got all the way into the bottom of this range. So we have a nice little 75 points of fill left that we can potentially catch. So in 12 minutes here, if this thing can close nicely bearish, that'd be good. 15-minute flipped, 5 minutes breaking the previous 5 lows. If this 15 can break these lows, then we'll look promising. But we gotta break and hold, not just break and then not hold. That's ridiculous.
Survive and your team can redeploy. Eliminate targets to bring them back faster.
Thoughts in mind.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Moving. Visual.
Hostile counter.
Good. X-ray spotted. Got movement.
I need some big cal rounds. Yes. Make it count. Enemies deploy the counter UAV. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Hostile Guardian. Gas is moving. Enemies dropping into the AO. Down the rest of them. Stand by for redeployment. Loadout drop headed your way. Your squad is down. Stay alive to bring them back. Your squad mates redeploying. Well done. Bounty contest. Got intel on a new target. Counting on you to take them out.
So the hourly's about to close here. It looks like our best course of action for that first trade was to move stops to break even. Rather than in profit, rather than closing profit, just hold it for the 30-minute and move it to break even. And that one 30-minute candle, which is what we took it off of, ended up turning into a 200-point mover. That's why we try to hold for at least a candle, but I don't know. We already took one good trade today and we was in nice profit, so we got attracted to the money and not the trading, and we had closed out profit. Not because of the trade looked bad, because the money looked good. But now we gotta take a bullet here, and we gotta now enter down here. I mean, this hourly is closing bearish, so the next hourly should come down. I mean, all yesterday, that's all they did. 8 o'clock close bearish, 9 o'clock push down, 9 close bearish, 10 push, 10 close bearish, 11 push. So that could be the timing we on today. But I'm glad we at least giving us a tiny bottom wick here. I like to see it. At least make the candle look nice. Cause this 5-minute doesn't have a top wick, which makes the candle look ugly. So hopefully this 10 o'clock gives us a great top wick, so we can get in. But we had to see. I think I'm gonna call it a day here. because this is the exact trade we called out and we failed to have held it. We called this trade out to a T. We knew it was breaking. We knew it was breaking these highs, this trend line. We knew it was breaking that trend line just to come up and grab some liquidity up here. It didn't actually come into the zone, but the 30-minute had closed nicely bearish for us. So we got in sales, expecting this trend line to break and eventually all of this to break. We expected all this to break down. We crumbled all the way to this bottom zone. So that was the play, that was the trade idea, and we folded the bag again today by simply not holding on to the bag. Risking 30 points, ended up catching a potential of 230 points. A 1 to 7 trade, something like that. But we folded the bag because we got addicted to, well, we didn't get addicted, we got consumed by the money, and we ended up closing out profits at 50 points, which still great trade, great scalp. But what happened was we took it on a 30-minute, but then we started looking at it on a 5-minute, and this 5-minute came down. The first 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes of the candle came down, so we like, well, we took our profits. A quick little 4-minute trade, but we ended up missing out on the bigger picture, which we had did yesterday, and now ended up we didn't learn from a lesson, and we did it again today. Yesterday we was in a great trade, but we messed up on that one too. Ended up costing us. We missed out on this 400-point banger, only risking really another 30 points. It is what it is though. Only trade I see now is if this 30-minute closes, if it's either this 30-minute closes bullish or the hourly closes bullish, and then we can take it as a reversal. Maybe the market just wants to play games, actually just break the lows just to break back in and actually push higher. It is a possibility. I don't think that's what actually happen after we seen what happened yesterday. So that's why I'm gonna call it a day. I don't really see another trade coming, and I don't really feel like chasing it. Yesterday we could have chased it. Every single chase would have worked out, but it's always that one chase that you decide to chase and it doesn't work out. 40 points on that one. If you missed that entry, you could have got in the next 30-minute. Another 70 points. You missed that 30-minute, you could have gotten in the next 30-minute. Another 60 points. Missed that 30-minute, get in the next one. Another 36. They're getting smaller, but every single one worked out. So even if we're late to the party today, we can still just end up selling it, and it just drops just because that's just what they own today. They just selling. So, but we had great entries all the way up here, and I don't like getting in all the way at the bottom when you had perfect entries up at the top. So I'm gonna call it a day. I'll be back at it tomorrow. We still got Friday. It was a good day today. It's gonna be a good day tomorrow.